Gary,
What? Whoa!
it's time to decide on what's a security. Let's go.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way or another. I'm gonna win you. I'm gonna get you one way or another. I'm gonna see you. I wanna meet you one day.
GM, welcome back to the channel and happy 420 to those celebrating. In this video, an update on Voyager. Potentially the bid from Binance will go through very, very soon, but this has been rugged on a few occasions previously, so do be aware of that. Also, Gensler getting his butt kicked, going to go over that in this video with a little clip for you, as I'm sure he will be very upset that the Voyager bid is going to be accepted. So without further ado, let's jump in to today's video. So on screen here, we have the Bitcoin price chart. I'm sure most of us are glued to this at the moment to see if we are about to drop like a stone after the big sell-off we saw yesterday. So currently at 28.8K, we breached my blue line here at 29.1. I thought this was going to hold, but it has not done so. So current analysis here is that there is bearish divergence forming on the 2-day. And if we close today below 29.3 to 29K, then he's expecting a move towards 27.2 as that lines up with the 0.382 fib retracement tool there. So I've marked that out on the charts. So this is the red box here. If we're unable to close above this region today, and obviously we're a good few $100 off even getting into this range at this moment in time, we'll close below here tonight. And then that very weak close, weak W-E-A-K, not W-E-E-K, will see us move towards the white line 27.2 just down here. And that pretty much teleports us back around 1 month in time when you look at the price data there to mid-March, somewhere around that low 27K region. We would then have to check in to see if there is further downside from there, but I do expect at some point we're going to see some bid step back into this market. However, this was an interesting observation here. A lot of spot selling has been seen over the last day or so. So the big red candle you can see on screen there, that was 16,000 Bitcoins being dumped on the market via the Binance exchange, which raised a good few eyebrows there. So Dan Crypto Trades posted this, spot selling at levels not seen since the March local bottom. The past few days has been a lot of aggressive selling by some big entities and a lot of supply added above as well. So a lot of asks in this region, as you can see from the yellows. So sell orders being set there, a lot of dumpage in the market. This could mean one of two things. He suggests, first and foremost, this could be just, profit taking. People who bought a lot lower were up 100% from the lows. Potentially it is just profit taking. But also to factor in sometimes what we see when large entities take profit, there's a news narrative that follows, typically some form of FUD. We haven't seen that as of yet, no major news catalysts, but we will see over the coming days whether this is going to happen for us or not. And then second point to make here, since the initial drop, the market has digested the selling relatively well. The absorption is good, but we need buyers to start stepping in. And we have not really seen that. But we have seen on some altcoins, they have made some recoveries. But generally across the board, most things are red. So will it happen? Will it get rugged yet again? We have the Voyager deal here. So Gary Gensler and the SEC tried to put the stoppers on this around 3 weeks back. So this is a deal that has been on off many times. Think back to the initial plan where FTX was going to buy out Voyager. Voyager creditors got rugged on that one for obvious reasons. But now we're getting this. Voyager's $1 billion deal with Binance US moves forward after a deal with the US government. So something must have changed in the background here, and it seems the SEC's request to stop this deal has for the moment been denied. So Gensler getting a few butt kickings this week. He will definitely not be happy about this one. So on the filing from yesterday, April 19th, the official committee of the unsecured creditors and the US government agreed that the deal for Binance to acquire Voyager's digital assets could move forward as planned, but quote, appeals will continue with respect to the plan's exculpation provision. So this is kind of the little dark cloud hanging over things here. So the SEC had filed paperwork to suggest there's been some form of tax evasion and fraud surrounding this case here, and that's why they wanted to really put the breakers on this one. but this seems like it is progressing unless something really comes out of the closet here. Voyager then tweeted this, pretty much saying, look, the resolution has been made. We are moving forward unless there are some issues coming out the woodwork. But overall, this one looks like it could have a positive resolution here in the next few days. And if so, this will mean creditors of Voyager will start to get some money back. This was noted by the judge, Michael Wiles. He said that delaying the deal will harm the interests of Voyager's former clients waiting to receive their funds. Feb 28th court filing, 97% of 61,000 Voyager account holders were in favor of the deal with Binance US. Off the back of this, the Voyager token has gone up quite a bit. It's of course listed and traded on Binance itself. And as you look at the charts here over on Binance, if you do want to trade this one, check out the link down below for 10% off your trading fees with my link. It's really started to rocket up here. But if we do get the signed, sealed, delivered headlines coming out for Voyager, the VGX token you can see on screen, I believe will go quite a bit higher. So bad day in the office yet again for Gary Gensler. Let's kick the dog while it's down and listen to this one as Tom Emmer rips him a new one.
By the way, that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
Trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws, then they shouldn't be offering their products.
Reclaiming my time. Madam Chair, I would like to enter into the record this Wall Street Journal article from April 14th, 2023, detailing China's ploy to open its banking system to crypto firms in an effort to seize an opportunity created by our hostile regulatory environment, which, Mr. Chair, you're a big part of.
Without objection.
So it's definitely becoming a political point of contention here that Gensler's SEC is pushing crypto innovation offshore. We've just seen Brian Armstrong of Coinbase suggest they may move Coinbase away from the US, potentially to the UK, as there is no regulatory clarity. So this is why people are going in on Gensler here, as we're seeing favorable terms being posed by the likes of China and Russia. So the Web3 space, definitely a political point of contention here. We'll let Tom continue.
Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP. Your intention to work against SEC mission and put American investors in harm's way has been made very apparent, sir. It's been a year and a half since you've appeared before this committee. You need to answer to Congress about the issues that you've had with the SEC staff union, the work environment you've cultivated at the SEC that's led to hemorrhaging of senior staff, the intellectual inconsistency of your regulatory treatment towards Bitcoin spot ETFs, and your politicization of capital formation opportunities through your treatment of certain SPACs. And that's just to name a few.
Shots fired, Tom Emmer 1, Gary Gensler 0. So a very interesting update here is this. So we're seeing quite a bit around Optimism and the optimistic rollup. So this is an ETH L2 scaling solution, covered it earlier in the week. And now we're seeing the likes of VC giant A16Z set up their own optimistic rollup, essentially forking the code here of Optimism. And this is going to be called MAGI. So super interesting. You're having Base also fork Optimism. And so this leads me to the conclusion. This, of course, is good tech, and it should obviously do well in the next bull cycle. Ethereum L2 Optimism has been selected by A16Z to create MAGI, an OP stack rollup client written in the Rust programming language. It states the software acts as the consensus client, feeding new blocks to the execution client in order to advance the chain. So A16 wants to advance the L2 ecosystem, and their statement here says, we hope that building out this new Rust-based client will encourage greater safety and liveness through the OP stack and bring more contributors into the ecosystem. They throw some serious bucks around. They can incentivize developers and fund new protocols. Whether or not this would be some form of KYC-based chain, I have no real answers on that, but certainly very interesting. And do take note when you see the big boys starting to back back an ETH L2. So all eyes on the Optimism charts, the data, TVL here, for example, on DeFi Llama, pushing up towards all-time highs, still just under $1 billion. But a lot is being built out here, and I'm very interested to keep a close eye on what is doing very well on Optimism. Then this also caught my attention. KUJI has now released a kind of soft launch for Ghost, which is their money market. So this is going to be very interesting. This kind of soft launch doesn't really allow us to do too much. I think they've got limits in place, and also you can't actually borrow right now. They've got a few governance proposals live here. So I'll just get into the meat and potatoes. The governance proposals will deploy the USK to XKUJI and KUJI to XUSK liquidation queues on Orca. This will allow users to bid on liquidations using yield-bearing assets. So if I can convert my KUJI to XKUJI and interest-bearing KUJI, get that over onto Orca, and then have bids waiting to buy up liquidated assets, whilst I'm waiting, I'm accruing rewards on the XKUJI token. Now this is highly, highly innovative. So it says if you want to bid on KUJI short liquidations, you can bid using yield-bearing XKUJI and earn yield while waiting for the bids to hit. We anticipate numerous strategies being built on top of this novel DeFi primitive. And it says, oh, and by the way, this is the only time you'll ever be able to mint XKUJI at a 1-to-1 ratio with KUJI. So I will be keeping tabs on this. This is very, very interesting. This team does not fail to deliver. Obviously, I hold a bag of KUJI, so I'm a little bit biased, but they're always innovating, always building. And this makes me very bullish on this protocol. It's like they have GMX plus additional arms all inbuilt into this one Cosmos DeFi app chain. So you can see this is the Ghost interface here. You've got borrow and lend. You can just see how this would actually work, but obviously the limits aren't really open, so I can't actually do anything on here now. But as a quick overview, you can see the UI UX as ever from KUJI is pretty damn sexy. So as we leave things up here, obviously the Bitcoin price is down quite a bit. That is a negative. Positives is 420. You can get stoned. No one's going to judge you. Secondly, Gensler's got his butt kicked on numerous occasions here. And thirdly, brothers and sisters utilizing Voyager may well be getting some of their assets back in the not too distant future. So every cloud has a silver lining. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.